The Caribbean's women go hunting in the 100 meters hurdles final. 2 Jamaicans and a Bahamian will carry the collective representation, while Italy has its first 100 meters Olympic champion, and Venezuela has a special woman, the first Venezuelan woman to win a gold medal at the Olympics, and the first Venezuelan to win a gold medal in track and field in Olympic history. Take a bow, world record holder Yulimar Rojas. That's the greeting for this edition of Tokyo Prime, the evening edition. And my name is George Davis, coming to you from our headquarters at Digital Studios. And I'm working out in the company of Pauline Thompson and Aileen Bailey. Anil Roberts is out there with us in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are so pleased to be sharing his company. Elaine Thompson is also with us. He's in the IMC commentary booth. All right, so it's a good afternoon to all. Let's start with the fact that there are 9 men in the semifinals of the 400 meters from the Caribbean. Very, very strong representation. Oba, of the 9, who are those who look best suited to you to advance and win a medal? All right, Elaine Thompson is not hearing us. All right, let me put that question to Anil Roberts. Anil, 9 men in the 400 meter semifinals for men from the Caribbean. Are there strong medal prospects among them? I think the gold medalist is in that bunch. What say you?
Well, let me first of all take my Trinidad and Tobago hat and disclose that I am a proud Trinidadian. And when it comes to quarter mile, you have to have the red, white, and black. So whether you have Marcel Fideniu, Young Hilaire coming in on the best time, getting in, Dion Lento and our 4x4 looking great. But across the board, I have 9 Caribbean athletes. And at the introduction, George, you said 3 Caribbean athletes in the 100 hurdles.
It's 4. It's 4. It's 4. Puerto Rico. The point is, Anil, I should have said 3 CARICOM athletes. But then again, there's no need to narrow it. There are 4 Caribbean athletes. So you are correct.
But in the 400 meters, but it's a very open field. I don't know if you're calling a gold medalist already, but across the board, across the globe, all of them, we're going to have to pay attention to lane assignment. In the 400, it is very critical to get a lane that suits your style of running. Some people love to be out front and not knowing what's going on in the back, and they can focus and get around on the outside. Other people need to judge on the pace of stronger athletes. So lane assignment will determine how many of us get into the fight.
Hear you on that. I'm coming to the ladies on the set because guess what? Last night when we were on duty in the same show, we spoke about the 9 Caribbean men who had qualified for the next round of the 400. Stephen Gardner, my gold medal favorite, looks awesome. But then again, I'm not the analyst, so my neck is not on the block in terms of predicting who will win medals. That's your job. So Stephen and the 8 others, 3 Trinis, certainly Dion Lendor looked good. Sidenio looked good. St. Hilaire had to, he got lucky with getting in as one of the fastest losers. And of course, 2 Jamaicans getting in as well. The fact is, Pauline Thompson, this race appears wide open because one American favorite fell by the wayside. Michael Norman and others don't look so awesome. And I think they have to be awesome to deny Stephen Gardner in this race. What say you?
I completely agree with you, George. I expect for Stephen Gardner to bring the gold home for the Bahamas and for the Caribbean at large. There's no doubt in my mind that Stephen Gardner is going to go out there and run his heart out. And you see the colors he wears, right? Black, yes, gold, and aquamarine. I tell you, George, when we put on those colors of our country, and Aileen could attest to that, we feel like supermen and superwomen. And there's no doubt that I believe that Stephen Gardner is going to get that gold for us, for the Bahamas, and for the Caribbean at large.
What say you on the Stephen Gardner point, Aileen? Are you joining us in thinking that this is his gold medal to lose?
It definitely is. Based on how he handled himself in the round, he looked really good. And he just has to maintain that and just keep that confidence that he usually has. And he should be able to pull it off. I mean, the only threat that I could see right now is Kirani, because he's coming back and he wants it and he's craving it. So and nobody is really paying attention to him because he hasn't been there in a long time, so nobody's really paying attention to him. But watching Kirani yesterday, he looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A note also on Barbados is Jonathan Jones, who really looked impressive to me in his opening round. He's also there in the semifinals and has a shot at making the last 8. Elaine Thompson, I hope you're hearing us now. The question I put to you at the very top, the 9 Caribbean men lining up in the semifinals of the men's 400 meters, who among them do you think is best placed to advance and get a medal?
I'm not hearing.
No, I don't think Elaine Thompson is hearing us. All right, let's move on. Oh,
Stephen Gardner, he is definitely a gold medal favorite. He does have a tough semifinal against the American Michael Norman. Yeah, Stephen Gardner has a tough semifinal against the American Mike Norman and the Botswanan Makwala. So that's going to be a tough semifinal and going to show us where everyone is. But I also like Karani James, who has fought back from a lot of personal things that have kept him back the last couple of years, including injuries, Graves' disease, and a personal loss. He's having a very good season. And then the Trinidadians, Lindor, looked really good. One of the athletes that I mentor, who I'm extremely proud of, is the Bajan, Jonathan Jones, but he's in that tough third semifinal. So I expect hopefully about 3 or 4 of our athletes can make the finals.
All right, speaking of Jonathan Jones, Alex Jordan caught up with him in Tokyo. Let's hear from him.
Round 1, heat 3 of 6 of the men's 400 meters, and Jonathan Jones out of Barbados with a season's best 45.04. Jonathan, what a run.
Thank you.
Tell us everything. How'd it go for you? You were right on the outside.
I was blind. I was going through the race a lot today, in my head, visually, mentally, and I just stuck to the race plan that Coach Flo gave me, and it worked.
Well, it worked beautifully. Jonathan, even though we're from the Caribbean, the temperatures we're feeling out here, extraordinary. Tell us about the conditions on the track.
Humid. It's probably harder than Texas, and Texas is being insane. So I just say thanks to God that I came out here. I got a season's best.
Well, that's an extraordinary thing to do at this level. You are at the Olympics. This is the best in the world. How's the experience been? You don't seem to be overawed by the occasion.
It still was unreal up to the time I crossed that line just now. Now it feels real. And really, I just glad to be here. I could give him my all, and that's all I can ever do. And I will be happy with myself.
I want you to look straight at the camera now and say something to the 246 who are absolutely celebrating at home for a wonderful run.
Hello, thanks for the support. All those who truly support and give us encouragement, words of positivity and not negativity, I thank you. And hello, Mara, my grandmother. I know you're watching, I know you're probably crying now, but you made it through to the semis. And try again, see what happens from there.
Jonathan, go rest, rehydrate. We'll see you in the semifinals. Well done.
Thank you.
That's Jonathan Jones. Oba, I'm coming back to you. In the case of Karani James, just like perhaps Wade Van Niekerk, the world record holder and of course Olympic record holder, would he have needed perhaps another month to streamline himself for a crack at this gold medal? Is it that the games may have come a little bit too early for Karani James and maybe even Wade Van Niekerk by extension?
With Karani James, he has had a solid season. He's run all of his races all of his final races under 45 seconds. He's won 3 of 4 of them. He only lost 1 race this season where he placed 4th, I believe, in Doha. And he has ascended to the top of the mountain. He knows what it takes. He has fought back tremendously. And I have no doubt that he'll be there when it's time to give out the medals.
And he'll talk to me about this Grenadian. London 2012, he planted his flag at the top of the mountain. Grenada's flag, the proudest moment in the country's athletics history. Coming back from several problems, as Obadeli mentioned, do you see him in the mix? Does he go back for what took him to the top of the mountain in London, and can he produce that here?
He is in the mix like a multiplication of spices all in a seasoned pot. of Palau. Understand that Kirani James has, when you go through struggles, it makes you stronger. This is a true champion, a man who held on and beat the world with class, a humble individual who became a national hero and kept his feet on the ground. Now, the coaches get important here. This is a 400. Even when you run comfortably like young Gardner in the lane 1, in the lane 2 on the inside, even like Karani jogging the last 80 meters, your body still gets taxed. You must leave there, talk to Alex Jordan, get in an ice bath, recover, stretch, jog, start off at a quick pace, about 60%, and jog down while hydrated, maybe cooling down, not in the hot sun. You've got to drink at least a bottle and a half extra, more than you would, because this 400 meters, your lactic acid will develop even if you are going controlled. These semifinals are not semifinals that athletes will be able to conserve much energy. If you conserve too much, you will get knocked out. So recovery, rest, recuperation, mental ability to get ready will factor in. You may say Gardner's the favorite, but Kirani has done it. There's the Botswana Makwele, he's there. Trini, Sedenio, Lendo, they've been there. So it's a very open field. The coaches, massage therapists, and the physiotherapists become very important right now.
Yeah, Elaine, Wade Van Niekerk, the man who was the greatest in the world not so long ago before his unfortunate injury playing a game of charity touch rugby, he has obviously had many problems. The fact is, he didn't look good in his first round heat, but he'll tell you, I didn't come to the Olympics to look good in the first round heat. I came to qualify from the first round heat, and he did that. Do you think he's in shape, though, to ward off the challenge of some very, very good Caribbean men led by Kirani and Stephen?
I mean, based on the Coach Brahman's coaching strategy, he should be able to, because Coach Brahman will get you in shape and you maintain that fitness throughout the season. So I think with Van Niekerk, it's just, he was just chilling. So once he turns over, he definitely should be able to handle it. And he's been there, so he understands. Dude, he won and ran the world record out of lane 8.
But you know what's true, Pauline? Of the people we've seen at these Olympic Games so far in track and field who've chilled through their heats going to the deeper rounds of the competition, everybody has looked good chilling. The fact is that Van Niekerk looked a bit shaky in that first round heat, although he qualified from the heat. Are you with Aileen saying that he'll put it together and nobody should worry about him?
I don't completely agree with what Aileen is saying, because I just didn't like the way he looked the rounds, and he hasn't done anything spectacular all year. And so that's kind of why I put a little question mark next to his name, just because he simply hasn't done anything. Well, in 2016 he hadn't done much either. Yeah. And he did shock the world by winning the Olympic gold medal, breaking the world record out of lane 8, unheard of. And so I'm not going to completely put him on the sideline, but I love the way Stephen Gardner looks. I love the way Kirani James looks. And I kind of beginning to feel that maybe it's going to be between the two of them, Kirani and Stephen Gardner. Yeah. But you never know. This is a sport, a track and field, George. It's an exciting sport. And sometimes when you think this person's going to win, that person don't win. And there's always surprises. So I wouldn't be shocked. Let's put it this way. If he turned out a great performance and end up doing something spectacular at the Olympic Games, I wouldn't be shocked. Let's call it that way.
There you go. Well, 9 Caribbean men in these semifinals. But as Obadeli said, the semifinals are very difficult to get out of. And men will have to run hard to get out there and then recuperate for the final. A very, very strong interest there for the Caribbean. This man on the outside lane, Isaac Makwala, the Botswana, looked good. Sedenio looked good for TNT. Gardner looked good. James looks awesome. The defending champion, to me, looks shaky. Back with more in Tokyo Prime, the evening edition after these. Yeah, the Caribbean goes on the gold rush in the women's 100 meters hurdles final. 4 of them with a chance of medals. Not this woman, though, Elaine Thompson. She crashed out in the semifinals, pounding the track in frustration at the misfortune. She's not the first to suffer misfortune in the hurdles, and she definitely won't be the last. Welcome back to Tokyo Prime, the evening edition. And my high school geography and history teacher must be saying, are you mad, young man? 3 Caribbean women. So the Puerto Rican is a what, George? Thank you, Anil Roberts, for setting the record straight. There are 4 Caribbean women in with a very strong chance of medals in that, of a medal rather, in that of 100 meters hurdles final. Oba, I'm coming to you. Camacho Quinn looks awesome. The Olympic record already in the bag. Perhaps her rivals are scared stiff of what she can produce in that final. But there are 3 English-speaking Caribbean women in there chasing her. Tapper and Anderson from Jamaica, along with the Bahamian Charlton. How do you see this 100 meters hurdles final going? How do you see the medals being shared?
Camacho Quinn looks incredible. She's looked incredible all year. She's been consistently in the 12.3, the 12.4 range. So I expect her to even challenge the world record if she has a clean race. And then it could be actually a toss-up for silver. Assuming that everything goes well, everyone runs their best race, it can be between Harrison, the American, Amusan, the Nigerian, and Anderson, who's having an outstanding year as well, running 12:40. In the semifinal, winning her semifinal, looking extremely good. So I expect the silver medal to be between them. And of course, it's good to have Tapper there and Charlton to make up the remaining finalists for the Caribbean. So once again, it's the hurdles. And one thing that my late coach told me is that you never know with the hurdles until it's finally over. We remember Gail Devers having that gold medal in her hand, as it were, in 1992, and clipping the final hurdle and tumbling. So you have to respect each hurdle as it comes. And assuming that things go well, I expect the Caribbean to have hopefully 2 medals.
Oba, Camacho Quinn, as you said, awesome in the first round and in the semifinal, of course. You know, based on what we've seen so far, Elaine Thompson produced a lifetime best to take gold in the women's 100. The Italian Jacobs produced a lifetime best to take gold in the men's 100. These, of course, are hurdlers. She's already done the Olympic record. Do you think there's scope in all she's shown you at these games and her back class to suggest that Camacho Quinn, if she gets it right, could shatter Kenny Harrison's 12:20 world record?
I think the world record is definitely under threat. I think she has the ability to go sub 12:20. But at this stage, I don't think she should be worrying about that. She already has the Olympic record. There may be other opportunities to set the world record, but this is the only chance right now that she will have in her career so far to be the Olympic champion. So if I'm her coach, I'm telling her, focus on the win. The time will come. And so fast times come when you're focused on executing your best. When you sometimes focus too much on the clock, you make mistakes, you press too much. Right now, the goal should be Olympic champion, run a clean race, and the time will come.
Hear you on that. Let's hear from the Bahamian, though, who's going to take a lane in the final. The 3 English-speaking Caribbean women drawn widest of all in the field, Camacho Quinn and Kendra Harrison beside each other. We're going to give you the lane assignments shortly, but Devin Charlton is in there for the Bahamas. She has a fighting chance. Let's hear what she said to Alex Jordan after that semifinal run.
What a fantastic run. How did you go?
That was the race I needed yesterday. I thought I was there, but had to go back and regroup and was able to pull that out.
It's terrible to watch, but must be terribly distracting when someone falls in the race. Did it impact you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I heard some things going on, but in the hurdles, you take your mind off your own hurdles, and things go wrong, and so you just have to keep it moving.
Must be a dream come true for you to run a better race each time at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. That speaks to the type of shape I'm in, so just want to improve on that next round.
All right, so what about the lineup we promised you? This is the lane assignment. Well, these are the lane assignments. Cunningham in 2 in the inside lane. Visser from the Netherlands. Then Harrison in lane 4. Camacho Quinn will be right beside her. Then Toby Amusan from Nigeria. And then Jamaica, Bahamas, Jamaica on the outside. Brittany Anderson, Devin Charlton, and Megan Topper in that order to complete the 8 women running in that 100 meters hurdles final. Pauline, you've just heard Devin Charlton, your countrywoman, say that she needed the first heat to get the cobwebs out, felt better about the semi-final run, and is looking forward to improving even more in the final. Does she have it in her locker to do something special for the country?
She most definitely does. She was an World Athletic Indoor finalist in the 60-meter hurdles a few years back. And Devin is a very, very hard-working young woman. I just absolutely love her spirit. I love her determination, and there's no doubt in my mind that when that gun goes, she's going to be in the mix of things. I'm hoping and I'm praying that she's going to bring us a medal for the Bahamas.
Aileen, I don't want people to say who know track and field that we are sleeping on Kendra Harrison, given Kendra Harrison's pedigree. And we know pedigree counts a lot for competition at the very highest level of track and field. The Olympic record holder and the gold medal favorite is right on her shoulder. What kind of impact will they have on each other, you think, from the start line?
It's going to be intense. It's just that each of them definitely have to focus on their hurdles. And based on history, Kenny tends to get distracted by the other person. So I'm hoping like she's learned from her mistakes and she's just going to focus on running. Because if you focus on trying to compete with the other person, then hurdles are disrespectful. And they both of them just have to focus on what it is that they're doing. Because to the right is the Nigerian,
yes,
who is coached by Lesina Golden Clark, so you know and Davian Clark, so you know she has like that mental focus based on who's coaching her. So she's definitely somebody to look at. And I love that Megan is in lane 9, because Megan has lane 9, so kind of like trials. Nobody was paying attention to her in lane 8, and I love that she's in lane 9 because she might. When everybody in the middle going crazy, she might just sneak up on them.
Yeah. Anil Roberts, in my favorite sport, in my eyes the only sport, but I won't court controversy by asserting that point here, horse racing, the draw is desperately important in every big race. The draw, the draw, the draw. I asked Aileen about the pressure of Kendra Harrison, a woman in the past who was buckled on the big stages when there is a dynamite athlete to her left, or even sandwiching her, or where she's a filling for the sandwich. She has in the past not performed to her best. She has the gold medal favorite and Olympic record holder on her shoulder. Does that cause Kendra Harrison to fold? Does that cause Camacho Quinn to grow even taller, hurdle even better, sprint even faster? What does the draw mean for the hurdles final, if anything at all, my friend?
Well, I'm glad that you love the sport of kings. And in this, if I was coaching Kendra Harrison, I would be so upset because of tradition, because of previous occurrences. Not necessarily her fault, but just situations create pressure in a situation. And time after time, Kendra Harrison showed that she just didn't have it under pressure. I would not want my athlete to be next to Camacho Quinn right now. I would have preferred to be where Tapa is. Tapa is sweet outside there. Because Kendra Harrison, if Camacho Quinn gets off, all sorts of demons are going to flood into her mind in an instant. And once that happens, you get off your rhythm, you lose your steps, you may touch or crash into a hurdle. So not a good lane assignment for Kendra Harrison. It's going to be an acid test. If she conquers it here, she can move on to a career of brilliance, and she will wipe away any question about her mental stability. We must talk about Camacho Quinn. This woman needs great respect because she is the greatest. She's looking fantastic, but she continues to run for the Caribbean. She continues to run for Puerto Rico. She has options to have run for the United States. She chose to represent her island, her people, her Caribbean people, and that I give her enough respect. You have to think back to 1980. There was a Puerto Rican swimmer called Jesse Basayo. He was the world record holder in the 200 IM, 200 backstroke. He could have won 5 gold medals had he swum for Puerto Rico. He chose to go for the United States of America. He made their Olympic team. But then President Carter said, "We not going." And Jesse Vasallo had to stay home while his Puerto Rico team went to 1980. He lost 5 gold medals. He came back in LA 1984, swam the 200 backstroke, and I believe got a bronze or something, but he missed out. So Camacho Quinn, Caribbean lady in Espanol.
Hear you on that. Oba, if we can continue to talk about Camacho Quinn, I don't know that an Olympic record would have been a target for her. I just know that the target, of course, would have been to qualify from the first round heats, qualify for the semifinals, and then take a shot at the gold medal. But she has achieved so much. So many people are talking about her now than were talking about her before the 100 meters hurdles program began. The pressure, Oba, is great. How do you imagine that an athlete like her in her position is going to deal with that pressure, process that pressure once she stands at the start line and looks down the track to the finish?
Well, this is her moment to realize her dream. Athletes dream of this moment, having the opportunity to have a chance to win an Olympic gold medal. As we already said, she has the Olympic record. And now she has the opportunity to put her name in the history books forever. And I don't think she will be rattled. And I also think with Kendra Harrison, I know there's a lot of talk about her past mental state. But she won the U.S. Olympic trials. She has overcome things in the past to reach this point. And just because it's the hurdles, and you have to respect the hurdles, as Elaine has said, we simply don't know. And so everyone, to me, is in play because it's the hurdles race. Everyone is under pressure to get over the barriers. Yes, Camacho Quinn has a lot of pressure because she set the Olympic record and she's been on fire. Harrison has that pressure because she is also a top candidate to win the medal, and she's the world record holder. And this actually might open up the door for some others like Anderson or Amusan or even Tapper in the outside lane.
Yeah, a highly technical event. There has been many a slip between cup and lip in the 100 hurdles, and so nothing is certain just yet. Oba, stay with us. We're going to talk about the 200 meters for women, and just as we go to the break, I just want to say that, look, the 4 Caribbean women in this 100 meters hurdles final, the prospect of the Caribbean even dominating the medal podium, people are allowed to dream. And when I say that more people now are talking about Camacho Quinn than were before, not track and field heads who would have known about her prowess this season and before, but casual fans who have just sat down now to take in the events at the Olympics, they are now talking about her. There have been more Google searches about Camacho Quinn over the last 2 days than ever before. So the pressure is building because armchair fans are now locked on, and they are winning this brilliant Puerto Rican to complete a wonderful Olympic Games performance by securing that gold medal. But it's not as easy as that. She'll have to run. She'll have to overcome barriers, literally, and other obstacles in the form of some good opponents waiting for her to fold. Back with more on the Tokyo Prime Evening Edition. Yeah, the red-hot heat of competition is not for everybody. It's certainly for this woman, though, Shelley and Fraser Price. And what about the 100 meters champion, Elaine Thompson, looking to do what she did in Rio post her rivals twice, in the 100 and the 200. The 100 in the bag here in Tokyo, and she's dead set on winning the 200 and making herself immortal. Welcome back to Tokyo Prime, the evening edition. My name is George Davis, working alongside an all-star cast. We have Olympic medal winning athletes, gold medal winning athletes, and top coaches who've won Olympic medals from the sidelines. So it's an all-star cast. Lucky me to be working alongside these people. So I go immediately to the 200 meters over, and I'm starting with you again. Thompson Herah has one in the bag. Another massive task in front of her. Fraser Price and a whole host of superstars will be hunting her down. How does Thompson Herah handle this pressure of this large bullseye on her back?
I think she actually sits in a good position to pull off the double again, just as she did in Rio. Coming into the meet, I didn't actually think that, but after she showed that she is probably in sub 1060 shape, and if she could get off the turn and get into the straightaway and keep her form, I think she has a chance of pulling off the double again. But it is a stacked field. We've seen Shelly Ann have her best performance ever, running 21:79 to win the Jamaican Nationals, although she came third in Monaco in a more pedestrian 22:48. There's also the unknown with the Gabby Thomas, who ran the second fastest time ever behind Flojo when she ran 21:61 to win the U.S. Nationals. We haven't seen her. There's the American Prandini, who has also run sub 22. There's Shawnee Miller-Weibo, who is knocking on the door of running 21 seconds again. And of course, Sharika Jackson, who has run sub 22 twice this season and finished second at the Jamaican Nationals and had a significant win at the Continental Tour in Hungary. So all these women, it's about 5 or 6 women for 3 medals. It is very exciting.
Anil Roberts, the 100 meters in the bag, the performance is now a part of history. Thompson Herah, as Oba said, facing an absolutely crack field to win that 200 meters gold. And he just mentioned the names. I don't have to repeat them. Wow. Are you expecting that this Jamaican, at her very best, if she brings it, can deliver and defend this title?
You look at the final. Is looking tremendous in the latter stages. He did not decelerate. I would love to see the graph to show. I believe she was going at a fast pace at about 90 meters. If she can carry that sort of speed, not get a lane 1 or 2, get a lane 3, 4, 5. She is by far the favorite, but the number 1 lady who started in her is Sharika Jackson, Jamaica. This is the 400-meter runner.
We're having a little bit of trouble with Anil's audio. Anil, I hope you're hearing us. We're having a little bit of trouble with your audio, and we're going to try to fix those problems. Pauline Davis Thompson, I turn to you. Your middle name is Elaine. You just reminded me off camera. So yeah, I'm asking you about Elaine. But the women hunting her in this 200 meters are as strong as they were as the pack that was hunting her in the 100 meters, or perhaps even stronger if you add Miller-Weibo to the list and Gabby Thomas, who bore a hole in the wind at the U.S. trials in winning that 200 meters title. Does Thompson Herah stay ahead of the pack again, or do you think that something will emerge and lower her colors?
Well, I'm hoping that Shawnee Miller-Weibo lands a gold for the Bahamas. That would be exciting. I mean, but I know Elaine is a fierce competitor, and so is Shawnee. And so I'm hoping that they go out there and they run really fast. But of course, George, pride run deep in the 242,
Yeah, of course.
So,
of course.
I'm pulling for the Bahamas.
You're pulling for the Bahamas. Not a problem with that.
No question about that.
Yeah, you don't need to be coy about it. Aileen, the numbers don't lie, though. Elaine Thompson Herah has sent a message that is even now still resounding days after that 100 meters performance. Gabby Thomas's run at the U.S. trials, unbelievable, breathtaking. Fraser-Price advertised her well-being in the 200 at the Jamaica trials. Shericka Jackson is getting faster and faster every time we see her. Miller-Weibo, back class. Absolute dynamite at 200 meters. Don't forget Prandini, don't sleep on her as well. This is almost a suicide mission. But Elaine Thompson here is going in there brave that she can be the one left standing at the end of it. Can she defend this title? Is the long build up to this question.
I mean, she's capable of it. It's just that she's going to have to like run the first curve, because if she doesn't get away from that type of competition, then it's going to be on for that last. Because Shericka and her 400 background, Weibo, Gabby, like they're finishers. So Elaine has to like get away from them from the get-go, and just because Elaine doesn't lose form, all she has to do is get away from them, hold form. And Shelley is also good. So and Shelley is doing a lot better in the 200, and she's hungry right now because she lost the 100 and she wants this Olympic gold medal. So it's going to be like it's going to be as competitive at the 100, and it's whoever gets off that curve first and maintain.
Is this a tougher assignment for her than the 100 meters, you'd say?
No, not really, no, because Elaine, once she gets into top speed, she maintains. Her form doesn't fall apart. It's like she gets quicker, and her form stays. She doesn't lose. She doesn't butt kick. Her arms stay in the same. She stays tall. It's kind of like boat. She reminds us of Boat. Once Boat get tall and start going, he doesn't fall apart, and that's how she is. And they have to like make sure she doesn't get off that curve before them. Yeah.
And is Anneli Roberts back with us? All right, Anneli Roberts is not back with us. On the point of Shericka Jackson over Elaine Thompson, if you could just stretch the point a little bit more for me, does she have a better chance of standing atop the podium in this 200 meters than she did in the 100?
I believe she does. I think that the combination of her 400-meter experience and strength training throughout the years, plus her 10.7 confirmed speed this year, she is definitely in a position of having the perfect combination. She can come off the turn, not necessarily leading, and still have enough in reserve to come down the straightaway. And unlike Shadee, who does not have that 10.7 speed, Shadee at her best is a sub-11 runner, but just having those extra 10s in the bag when you come off the turn, I think is what puts Shericka in a really good position to win.
The X factor for most Caribbean people, Oba, Gabby Thomas, the American. Should the Caribbean be worried that there's someone who could spoil their hopes of celebrating another Caribbean gold medal in this 200 meters?
Absolutely. She ran sub 22 seconds every single round at the U.S. Olympic trials. And granted, that track in Eugene, Oregon is extremely fast. But this track in Tokyo is also fast. So no one has seen her since. It's going to be interesting how she looks in the first round. I do not think it's going to be a Caribbean sweep. But then again, that's why we run.
Absolutely. So, Pauline, based on your best information, what kind of shape is Shadee Miller-Weibo in? She has many fans right throughout the Caribbean. She has many fans in Jamaica. I can tell you, I screamed myself hoarse when she got ahead of Alisa Felix in that 400 meters in Rio. She has a huge fan club here. Is she right? Is she in shape enough to be able to run down some of the fastest women in history to win that 200 meters gold?
I think so. I believe so. She's the defending Olympic champion of 400 meters. So she has 400 meter speed and strength. And this is 200 meters, half of what a 400 meter is. So there's no doubt in my mind that Shadee has the ability, she has the strength, she has the foot speed, even though she might have not ran several sub-11 like some of the other athletes I should career, she still has run 10 point. And so she's determined. I believe this is the event that she loves. And so when you love something, I think you're going to go out, you're going to put the work in to make it happen. But it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you. I know that Elaine is going to push her. Sharika is going to push her. Pocket Rocket is going to push her. The American is going to push her. You know, so I hope she has some. I hope she had some conk. I know she's all the way in Japan, and that's not easy to get. But definitely, she knows that we are all pulling for her, and I believe that she's going to go out there and she's going to give it a good run. But she has to make sure that she stays close. She cannot afford to let those athletes get too far from her, because she have a very, very good finish, and so she has to stay very close and make sure that she get to that top end speed and that she just take it down the straightaway and come across the line first.
The last one before we go, Aileen, we're running heavy on time in this segment, but I have to ask you this. For the layman watching the Olympics, and let's face it, more lay people than experts watch the Olympics. That's what makes the Olympics special. It's not for people like you and Oba and Pauline, because you're the experts, you're the ex-pros. Do you have to report to the 200 meter start with a plan? The 100, we get the impression, lay people, you just run. You hear the gun and you run as fast as you can to the finish, and whatever happens, happens. Do you have to go to the 200 though in a different mindset? Do you have to go with a plan to say, at this point I should do this? If this is not where I should be after doing this, then I need to transition to this? Is this what happens in a 200 meters race?
Yeah, because your drive phase is different for the 200, because you can't stay down as long as you would in the 100. So you have to get up at a specific point. And then you have to hit top speed before you get the apex of the curve. And so whatever speed you hit that with, it shoots you off. And you have to make sure that it doesn't shoot you out too much, because you end up running 210 meters. You have to hug the curve as close as possible without stepping on it. So it's like, the 200 is like technical. You have to like, okay, this part, this part, this part. The 100 is just two part: drive, get up, sprint. The 200 is here, apex, straight, don't go far out. But it's just whoever is at their best and don't swing wide and just get off the curve. Because like I said, if they make Elaine get away too far, can't catch her.
and lastly, Pauline, quickly again, 200 meter expert yourself. Because of the plan that you have to have in the 200 meters, that's why you're likely to make more mistakes than you would in 100 meters, because there's so much more time for you to get the phases wrong and for your plan to get messed up and for you to give away a medal or a gold medal.
Well, first of all, you have to lock into what your plan. You have to stick to your goal plan. So first of all, you have to set your blocks so it kind of going into the curve. You have to run the curve, George, as if the curve is a straightaway. That's how you have to do it. If you do that, then you're not going to get yourself into any problems. You're going to be where you need to be, so that when you drive up, and when you start to step over and grab the track back underneath you, and you're running nice and tall, but you're running the curve as if you're running 100 meters straight away, you're not going to have any issues. You're going to be where you need to be, when you need to be, and if those athletes do that, they're not going to have any problems at all.
Yeah. A technically gifted bunch over looking to go hunting in the 200 meters. We aren't even nowhere near knowing who the finalists are. We're talking about medals and all of this. But all in all, Elaine Thompson, this 200 meters, do you think it will be an even more exciting event than the 100 meters, given the addition of Miller Weibo and Gabby Thomas, the American?
I actually think it's going to be an exciting event, but I don't think it can eclipse the 100 meters. The 100 meters establishes who is the fastest woman on the planet. Elaine has done it. She's done it in Olympic record time. The whole world was watching that event. I also want to put another person in the mix who we sometimes forget, and that's Talu. She's also an outstanding 200-meter runner. And yes, it's just like what Elaine and Pauline were talking about. It is a technical event. There are a lot of things that can go wrong if you don't set it up. As Pauline was talking about, the way that you set your blocks, the way that you accelerate, the way that you come off of the turn. And also, it matters with lane assignments. One of the things that I try to do if I had an inside lane was try to pick off the two runners outside of me before the end of the turn. But then you also have to be cautious not to go too quickly and have something in reserve for the last 100 meters. And a lot of time the music plays in the 200 meters, in that last 50 meters. Who is composed, who brings enough momentum coming home, who holds their form. And there's the famous C shape when the back curves. Who is able to avoid that? And with the cast of characters that we expect to be in the finals, it's going to come down to composure, laying assignments, and the person who just wants it the most.
Absolutely so. And she who is strongest in the last 30 meters is going to win that gold medal, I'm suspecting. Over there, Elaine Thompson, thank you very much for talking with us today. We continue Tokyo Prime, the evening edition, after these. Yeah, the Olympic 100 meters champion goes a-hunting again in the 200 meters final. She'll have to navigate the heats first, though. Elaine Thompson looking to do something special. Fraser Price, Shericka Jackson, Shawnee Miller-Weber, the cast chasing her, absolutely dynamite. The question is, can the Jamaican do in Tokyo as she did in Rio, winning the 2 short sprints to cement herself as the best women's sprinter in the world and perhaps of our times? Welcome back. This is Tokyo Prime, the evening edition. My name is George Davis. I hear that Anil Roberts is back with us. Anil, are you there? Say yes if you can hear me.
I can hear you, George, and I'm so happy to see you and Obadele so excited about women sprinting. I can see the excitement oozing out of your pores, the excitement that you don't share with the men's 100. But let me tell you something. The sweet science, the boxing, the sweet science, they always say you have a plan. If you want to fight Mike Tyson, you have a plan. You want to jab, you want to move your feet, you want to move him around the ring. Everybody have a plan until you get cup in your face and then the plan spraddle. Everybody will have a plan against Elaine Thompson. Elaine Thompson here has shown you speed, longevity, no deceleration. When she hit you that speed in the first 80, plan gets spraddle. So Elaine Thompson, clear favorite. Everybody else, yes. Gabby Thomas, sweet. The biggest target comes from Shericka Jackson. Now, Mommy Rocket Fraser Price, she's ran a good 200, but I believe from analyzing her performances, she is on the long end of a taper. Her aerobic capacity, her recovery process is waning. So therefore, you will see that she will try to get out. She may hit the bend at the apex up with Elaine Thompson, but I don't think she'll have the finishing speed. Shericka Jackson will be there. Miller-Weber, I don't think she can stay in touch in the first 110 to be able to finish at the 200 because Elaine Thompson on this track has shown sprinting, taken it to a whole different realm. It's her gold medal to lose. The mental ability of these ladies is going to be tested. This lady behind me was the psychologist. That's my mother. When I coached Nesty, Leah Martindale, George Bovell, Nicholas Bovell, Chantel McQueen, Kerry Ann Skip, all these, Sean Bryn, all of these world-class Olympians. When I broke them down, when big men were crying in the pool, this psychologist would keep them, build them back up, and get them to go again. You're going to be mentally tough through the rounds to deal with Elaine Thompson.
But hear me now, Anil, hear me now. It was the late former U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld who gave the world the classic quote in 2002. There are known knowns, there are known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns. Gabby Thomas, my friend, represents a known unknown for the world of track and field at large, beyond the anoraks who spend hours on their computers noting performances and writing down data and turning that data into information. The world at large sees her as a known unknown. What they know is what she did at the U.S. trials, and if you extrapolate that, you're a numbers man, Anil. If you extrapolate her performances at the U.S. trials, you will get a performance trajectory that suggests that whatever beats that is going to win the gold medal? Are you looking at the known unknown of Gabby Thomas and saying Thompson Herah can conquer even that?
Well, to me, she's not a known unknown. She's a known known, and she's brilliant and beautiful and amazing and strong. But Elaine Thompson, when you look at that 100, I've looked at it for about 47 times. Go and check it. She got up the top speed after about 40, 42 meters, and she was maintaining that going around. If you take that another 100 meters, she was pointing at the clock, looking great. She is in form that is unknown.
But Anil, here's the reason I say known unknown. Have we ever seen Gabby Thomas act at a major championship? Have we ever seen Gabby Thomas act when the world is watching her? Not just U.S. track and field officials and the anoraks who follow track and field. That's what I mean by known unknown. Shelley and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson Herah, Shawnee Miller-Weaver, they are all known knowns. Shericka Jackson, all of these ladies, we've seen them time and again at major championships acting under the greatest scrutiny. Thomas is a known unknown for the fact we've never seen her under these conditions. Now is when you're going to test if the pudding is actually tasty as it smells, my friend.
Go by Charlie's for some black pudding and hops tomorrow, but George, you have an uncanny ability. You just argued with yourself because the fact that she is unknown, that she doesn't, it's actually more pressure on her to perform at this stage. Being there, having done that, being psychologically ready, going through the paces, knowing the pressure, going in the call room, feeling the pain, listening to your music, knowing what it feels like to be in an Olympic final is an advantage. Not knowing is nervous. You are also sitting down looking at your competitors, and everywhere globally, all you saw for the last 2 days, Elaine Thompson, Elaine Thompson, Elaine Thompson. That plays on the unknown mind, my friend.
There you go. Ladies, I just want to get your perspective on this before we go to the break. Pauline, I must confess that Antonique Strachan is an athlete that I thought would be in the league of the Thompson Herahs and Fraser Prices of this world right now, and Shawnee Miller-Weaver, because she was anointed as the next in line. It hasn't quite happened like that for Antonique. Is she in shape enough to do her considerable talent justice at these Olympic Games, you think, in this 200 meters?
George, Antonique have had some struggles over the years. She's had several injuries. Of course, you know, years prior to that, she was the top junior athlete in the world.
Yes.
Not in the Bahamas, but in the world. She was far more superior than Shelly Ann and Elaine and all those athletes. And then something happened. The wheel fell off. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Antonique still continues to have injuries and mishaps and issues where at times I guess she feels that she needs to have been, given more support and things like that. But what I see in life, George, because she's going through so much, I think that before her career ends, she's going to do something spectacular. That's my belief. I always believe that when athletes go through a lot, somehow God always finds a way to just lift them up and rise them up. And even though now she's having a lot of challenges, there's no question in my mind that she has enough time. She's only 27 years old. I won my medal at 34. So there's no question in my mind that Antonique Strachan, if she puts everything together, she gets under the right situation, that she can make a comeback and start to show greatness again.
Aileen, yesterday while we were having a meal, we were talking privately about a certain junior from another country that I won't call the name that didn't quite translate it to the big stage. Antonique Strachan is an athlete that a lot was expected of, and Pauline has said, look, she's only 27, there's still time. Do you think that there is enough there for her to begin trending towards what her junior career suggested that she'd achieve as a senior, and that will start happening at these Olympic Games?
I think with maturity, she's gotten better because she's a little bit more mature now, and the fact that her training partners just did 1, 2, 3, so all that has rubbed up. She was like, okay, they can do it, and I'm in the same environment. That definitely will build her confidence, and she's a lot, because I stalk all the kids on their Instagram, and she's like watching her videos. She's a lot more confidence and trust in herself, because like having an injury, it's it's scary and it's traumatizing. And for her to get hurt, it's the fear of trying to come back. Because she could have been back a long time ago. It's just the fear of getting hurt. But I think she's overcome that now, and she's going to stamp her mark. I'm praying that she gets to the finals. But I feel like having the 3 people that you train with in that same event with you, it's going to give you that extra energy and that extra drive that you need. And she definitely will feed off their energy.
All right, hoping the best for the Bahamian Antonique Strone. Had the world at her feet when she was a junior. It's not quite happened for her since the transition began, but there's every confidence that she can trend towards her very best form. This is Tokyo Prime, the evening edition. More after these. Shanika Ricketts, the Jamaican, tried her best in the women's triple jump final, but she just didn't have enough. And then this man, Tajay Gale, the world champion, injured in the long jump. And Shadee Lawrence launched the discus so far that the officials had to give her a place in the final. Well, she qualified officially, is the point I'm making. Shadee Lawrence, 25 years old, in the final of the women's discus event. And when you look at the season best for all of the finalists in that event, she has the 4th biggest throw this season. So if it runs to form and she gets lucky, who knows, she could pinch a medal in what will be a very, very competitive event. But let's start with the women's triple jump, because the Venezuelan Yulia Rojas created history. The first Venezuelan to win a medal, a gold medal rather, in track and field, in athletics at the Olympics. And listen to this, children, the first woman to win a gold medal for Venezuela at the Olympics in any sport. Not that they've won many, they won 4 before her. Imagine that, big Venezuela only won 4 gold medals at the Olympics before Yulia Rojas. And she added number 5, the first woman to do so. Anil, I'm coming back to you again. The scale of the achievement of this Venezuelan, classy, outstanding, gold medal, world record. It's been her Olympics.
It has been. And for someone to take that pressure, to know that she was the prohibitive favorite in an event that if you step wrong, if you get too excited, if you stretch too far, if your strides don't count, that you can miss the first jump. And if you miss the first jump and you red flag, you double up the pressure on you. You only have 2 more jumps to qualify. For this lady to come out in a stellar field, remember this is one of the strongest fields for triple jump ever. And for her to obliterate not only the competition, but to obliterate the world record. She showed that she was on form right through. Her coach was with her. Her country has been through tremendous strife, tribulation across the board. She has uplifted the hearts and souls of Venezuelans across the globe. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, there was celebration as we have a large population of Venezuelans who are here trying to get a better life. She is a champion. She's humble, intelligent, and just like Usain Bolt, she was born for greatness. We may never see jumping, triple jumping, hop, skip, and jump like this for decades to come. She shattered the world record by 17 centimeters. Buena mujer de Venezuela.
Yep. Rojas becoming a legend with this jump. The fact is that you saw the Spanish athlete celebrating with her penitero. That's because they're both training partners, both of them conditioned by the brilliant Cuban Ivan Pedroso, who you saw in these stands getting the congratulations of other team officials for essaying and authoring what Rojas went out and executed. Absolutely phenomenal, that gold medal performance. Well, the Jamaican Shanika Ricketts, she finished 4th in the event, and she spoke with Alex Jordan after the competition ended.
Shanika Rick is just outside the medals. How do you feel about your performance?
I had a very hard time in the first 3 rounds. I had 2 fouls. I had to fight to get back into the competition. I still have to give God praise because I did not put any medal out here, and the performance wasn't as bad as it seems.
Shanika, you performed in an incredible final world record from your Venezuelan compatriot.
Yes, definitely. It's always good to see, even if it's not from Jamaica, somebody break the world record. So I'm just grateful to be a part of that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so 4th for the Jamaicans. So again, Rojas' world record in the women's triple jump final, aided and abetted by a Cuban. So again, the Caribbean have something strong to say about a world record performance, and that was one for the ages. Tajay Gale, the world champion from Doha in Qatar, the Jamaican in the long jump, had a mishap, Aileen Bailey, picked up an injury, but he showed that he has the heart of a lion, soldiered on, and has earned himself a place in the final notwithstanding.
Yeah, more power to him. Wherever he grew up, wherever he comes from, the parents that raised him, his heart is, because if I did that, I probably would just lay down there and cry for a good minute. But I am happy that he pulled it off to get into the finals. And hopefully what happened wasn't anything like major, where him having a day to rest, and our physiotherapists that are there will get him limber enough to pull off the win.
The worry though, Pauline, for an injury like this is that, well, for Tajay Gale, who went to Papine High in St. Andrew, he is not one of those athletes who will come out and produce one big jump to advance in the competition. He needs effort after effort after effort to get himself going. Now, with a knee injury, with so much impact, time and again, it does not bode well for his prospects in the final, but he has shown that he has a heart of a lion, so you can't count him out.
I agree with that, George, but definitely an injury like that, that's a major injury. When you hurt your knee, in any event, it's a major injury. So I'm hoping, like Aileen is saying, that it's something, maybe just tweak something where it's not so bad. Maybe he could put some ice on it. They could put some muscle stem on it and work it out for him a little bit. I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for him.
Fingers crossed.
He's going to need a lot of that.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Andy Roberts, as we wrap up the show today, Tajay Gale having, of all the joints to be bum at this time of the Olympics, it's the knee for the long jumper. But he's shown that he can fight. He's shown that he has grit. Are you expecting anything major from him in that final when he lines up for the long jump?
Unfortunately, coming from a footballer here who's standing up on 2 knees, surgery, anterior cruciate ligament replacement in 1993, and the right knee, same thing, 2005, he cannot jump. If that was any knee injury, if there was any tweaking of cartilage, if there was a hyperextension in the knee, 1 day later, the swelling, the pain, the concentration, he cannot. So yes, he has the heart of a lion. He's going to fight through, but I don't see it. It won't happen. And that's his takeoff leg, his left leg. Impossible once you tweak a knee, unfortunately. I hope that it is not one that requires surgery. But the Caribbean will be well represented across the board. Our trainees from Bahamas down to the south in Trinidad in the 400. In the 100-meter hurdles, we have Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. And when I was coaching Leah Martindale, Kerry Ann Gibbs, and Siobhan Cropper for the Olympics opposite the Queen's Park Savannah, and they were training Paulie, and I was screaming my head off at 3:30 in the morning. There was the CARICOM Summit being hosted in Trinidad and Tobago in 1996. I walked them across to the savannah, stood them up, and let them look at the 32 flags up there and told them that's who they represent. Our Caribbean athletes, English, Spanish speaking, will make us proud, George Davis. We can look at the Olympics and stand up and take our place amongst the world's best.
Excellent analysis, excellent analysis. Just before we go, ladies and gentlemen, a word on Shadee Lawrence, the woman from Jamaica who's found herself who has worked herself into the final of the discus competition. Let's hear from her.
Shadee Lawrence, congratulations on qualifying for the final of the Olympics, 62.27 in your second throw. Tell me how it was out there.
It's
It's a massive moment.
I felt good out there. I knew I could do it because I've been training really good. So I just knew once I get it together, then it would be good.
Tell me where that emotion is coming from.
Because it's been a long time coming. I knew I could do it, but you know, this is just the right time. Nothing happens before it's time. So I'm just really excited that I reached this milestone.
The whole region excited for you. I saw you lying out on the track looking up at the sky. You want to share those thoughts with us?
I was there because it's just me and God on this journey, and my family and my coach, and mostly God. I'm like, God, I just need you to take me through this, and to know that He did, it's just a wonderful feeling.
Finals, Miss.
Yeah? What was it?
Finals, Miss.
Finals, Miss.
One word to your family, to your fans in Jamaica, straight to camera.
I want to thank my mom, Arlene, for all the massages you gave me free. My brother, my sister, the USS track and field for giving me a home to train. I want to thank big thank you to my coach for taking on this journey with me, and all my friends who support me. Thank you very much.
Last word, Aileen. Fine margins in the discus. When you look at the list, the start list for the women in the discus final, not much between the top women. And Shadee Lawrence, I'm sure, would have looked at the list and said, there are only 4 people here who've thrown further than me or farther than me this season. So there's no reason to think that at my best, I couldn't produce something that gives me a medal.
No, I mean, you're in the finals. She's in the finals, and once you're in the finals, anything can happen. And she's young, and she's hungry, and she's having fun. She's enjoying the moment, so there's no pressure on her. So all she has to do is just listen to her coach, go out there and execute, and I would be happy if she'll be our first field events, other than the long field events, medalist.
There you go. There you go. That's the hope and aspiration from Aileen Bailey to end the Tokyo Pram, the evening edition for today. You'll see us again, though, because there'll be a continuity to do as the Caribbean's athletes chase more glory at these Tokyo Games. It's gone well so far. It's potentially going to get better.